Julius Randle's contract extension timeline may have just been revealed, and we have to break this down as it will have huge implications on future trades and Randle's future with the New York Knicks. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into the video as we always do, because Julius Randle's future with the New York Knicks just had a major story break from Fred Katz today, who just explained the timeline for the New York Knicks and Julius Randle when it comes to a potential contract extension this summer. Now, we know both Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson are contract extension eligible this summer, and if neither one gets signed, they will become an unrestricted free agent next summer, as Brunson will opt out of his player option. But it appears that Jalen Brunson is going to sign an extension this summer and give the Knicks a bit of a pay cut because he's a winner, he's a great franchise player, and that's what winning franchise players do. Now, Fred Katz broke all this down in a recent article, and he mentioned that the New York Knicks are not trying to trade Julius Randle, but they understand that with his contract, there is a chance that they might have to acquire a better star player. And if a suitable target does not pop up this summer, they could move towards the 2025 trade deadline and still use Randle's contract that would be expiring a few months later. But he does mention that August 3rd gives both sides a sweet spot to work out a deal. That's a month after free agency begins, far enough into the summer to know if there's going to be a star on the market that the Knicks are going to land, and if Randle would be a part of that trade or not. Katz also mentions that it's too early to commit to Julius Randle and still maintain his trade eligibility leading into the February trade deadline, and a player cannot be traded for 6 months after signing an extension. That is the recently signed player exception. There's also one for trades, but that one's a little more lenient. And then there's a rookie one also, and I think most people know this through NBA 2K My League. But that's all for a different day. With Julius Randle, he has been nothing short of excellent for the New York Knicks. Yes, he had 2 bad seasons in his 5 years here. The other seasons, he's been great. He's been named an All-Star 3 times. He's a 2-time All-NBA player. Would have been All-NBA this year had he stayed healthy. And had he stayed healthy, the New York Knicks could have easily went to the NBA Finals this year. The big thing is, though, now the last 2 seasons, the New York Knicks could have at least, or would have at least, went to the conference finals this year, and definitely could have beaten Miami if Julius were healthy last year. But he wasn't. And that has hindered them twice. And now when you look at that, I think you can kind of talk to Randle and be like, look, are you willing to take another pay cut? You being injured screwed us up twice in the playoffs now. The last 2 years, we could have been one of the final 4 or final 2 teams left in the NBA, and your injuries prevented that. Now, Julius has basically been an Iron Man also outside of it. It's been 2 horribly timed injuries that were just 2 strokes of bad luck. I don't think he's an injury-prone player. I think he had 2 years of bad luck. However, you could still use that as a negotiation tactic if you're the New York Knicks, especially if you think, hey, we don't want to sign him to an extension. We want to move him and get a star better than Julius Randle. I think Julius is a top 20 player in the NBA. I think he can be the second best player on a championship team. I think he can be the second best player on a Jalen Brunson championship team. But if that's the case, they are going to still need to get better, whether that's through getting Mikal Bridges or someone else of that level of talent, maybe even a Brandon Ingram, though I don't really like that idea, but it is one you can consider. The Knicks will have options, and they have a lot of options because their salary books are still good for right now. But in a year or so, that's not going to be the case. You're going to be giving Brunson more money. You're going to be giving Randle more money if he's still here. Mitchell Robinson may or may not be with the team. OG Anunoby's expected to get $35 million. We did a video on that yesterday, so feel free to go check that one out. There's so many contract extensions. Isaiah Hartenstein. There's so many. Dante DiVincenzo and Josh Harder in 2026. If the Knicks keep paying all these guys, they're going to go into the second apron. If you go into the second apron, you don't get a mid-level exception. You eventually will start losing draft picks or going to the very back of the draft. And you also just trade restrictions become crazy. You're going to have to sign guys who have been in the NBA for less than 3 years and stuff like that for the end of your bench. So you're not going to have a reliable bench if guys get injured. Basically, you don't want to be behind that second apron. The whole point of the second apron is super team prevention, like what the Golden State Warriors had. The NBA just wants to prevent that from ever happening again because it was boring. Now, how does that affect the Knicks, a team that's not a super team caliber team? Well, if they keep paying everyone because this whole team's good, then they're going to have a problem. Now, they can work things out. They can get things adjusted. They have Brock Aller, who is a cap wizard. I trust that Brock Aller will settle all this. He's been great for the Knicks. I know there's rumors that the Hornets want to sign him, but Aller's got a pretty good deal going here. So I could very well see him sticking with the New York Knicks through all this. And then maybe if he wins a championship, demand a ton of money as like a president of basketball operations and then take that money and run, as he should. But right now, they do have Brock Aller to stand by. And there's a lot more to this because having Randle or handing Randle a massive payday would only lessen their flexibility because then the Knicks, they just won't be able to make the same amount of trades. But if they're confident in August that they are contenders through another trade or choose to lock everyone up and believe in this squad, then they're good. But if there's an ounce of uncertainty, they may not do that, and they may not want to pay out a massive 2025-2026 roster until they gather more information. Now, in my mind, what this is saying is that the Knicks are going to wait and see if they can get another star or make this team better without trading Julius Randle. I think they're going to go for that because they like Julius. They like him. He's got a good vibe. He's good for the team. The team loves him. Players love him. Fans don't love him, but, I mean, some of us do. And I think he's just good for the team. He fits well. Everything works with him there. They were 14-2 when Julius and co were all healthy. I like Julius on this team. I think the best move is to get Mikal Bridges and move DiVincenzo to the sixth-man role. Easier said than done. But I think that is the correct move for the Knicks. Now, all this in mind, are they going to be able to do that? I don't know. Because to get Mikal Bridges, you have to ensure the Nets don't get better, and the Knicks can't affect that unless they want to trade for Donovan Mitchell themselves. And then guess what? You can't get Mikal Bridges. Now, they just need the Nets to strike out in every which way in free agency, so they're desperate, and then the Knicks can trade for Mikal. That is the only way it gets done. However, you can't control that. So it's just we have to bank on the Nets doing Nets things, which is more likely than not. So we have that going for us. But maybe they decide we want Devin Booker and he's available more than we think. Maybe they decide we want Kevin Durant and we're willing to trade Julius Randle for him. Because, let's be real, both of them are better than Julius. As I said, Julius is a top 20 NBA player. He's not a top 10. Booker and KD are both top 10 NBA players. Now, if we consider the future and all that, and you don't want to trade for KD because he's 37, that makes sense. But he's still one of the best players in the NBA. Just had an excellent, remarkable NBA season. But also, he's 37. You never know when that's going to come crashing or when these injuries are going to come get him. He's already dealing with them. And I'm not going to do a whole KD thing because, we're not trading for Kevin Durant. But really, I'm using them as reference points because Julius can get moved. It's possible. It's way more possible than it ever was before outside of his first year with the team. And he's eligible for this 4-year, $190.2 million extension this summer, which I'm willing to pay him. I think it's fine. He could be an unrestricted free agent the next year in 2025 and sign a 5-year deal that's way more lucrative if Julius feels like that. But I don't know. I don't think Julius is the type of guy to really be like, I'm good. I'll take that money and just screw over the Knicks and never win anything. That doesn't seem like Julius's vibe. He wants to win, just like Brunson, just like the rest of this team. It's why these guys have been willing to take pay cuts so far. Brunson and Julius. I mean, Julius already took one also, so maybe he's done with that. But he averaged 24 points and 9 rebounds on this season, shot 47% from the field. He's been awesome with the Knicks. All these accolades in that top right is as a New York Knick in 5 years. He has been one of the better Knicks in history. He's a top, 15 Knick of all time. The man is excellent. People hate him way too much. It's really stupid. I don't get it. I think it's a very uneducated take, but that's what, I don't know. Whatever. And also, to everyone in my comments who mentions Julius Randle, it's Randle. It's not Randall. Guys, he's been on the team for 5 years. But, whatever. Comment whatever you want. I'm still going to reply. I love the comments. But, I think Julius Randle, I think he's going to sign this extension this summer. I think the Knicks are going to sign him to an extension, or they're going to trade him this summer. But it just feels unlikely that they move him. They have so many tradable contracts. Why would they have traded for Bojan Bogdanovic's contract if they're not going to use him in a trade? If they're just going to trade Julius anyway? That doesn't really make much sense to me. Why would they have a tradable contract like Mitchell Robinson and decide to move Julius instead? Just doesn't make much sense to me. So I really don't think Julius is getting traded at all, but I want to know what you guys think. So comment your thoughts down below. Are the Knicks going to move him? Is he going to sign an extension? Are they going to wait till the trade deadline? Maybe trade him then or make a decision then? I don't think they should wait till the trade deadline, then panic extend him. I think that'd be the worst idea possible. But guys, I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments down below. Happy Memorial Day weekend. There's not going to be as many videos as I've been doing over this weekend. Dario might make some. I don't really know his schedule, but I'm kind of not here, so I don't know. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. And go Knicks.